Hi, everybody. It's Jamie of Pandora Astrology in Berkeley, California.
And I'm Julia Mijas, joining in from San Francisco.
And I want to talk with you guys today about the lunar eclipse in Cancer coming on January 10th in 2020. And there's so much going on with this eclipse. And eclipses, as you've probably heard me say before, are times when we are forced to look at our shadow and forced to look at what we'd rather not look at, forced to look at what we put behind us. A lunar eclipse in particular tends to be quite emotional. I've heard it called an emotional roto-rooter by Georgia Stathis, who's a prominent astrologer here in the Bay Area and eclipse expert. And she's really got a point there. It stirs the pot emotionally in a very big way. And many times a person will experience it inwardly as opposed to outwardly. So you may not see this going on with other people and may only feel it inside yourself. So we have a big grouping of planets in Capricorn. The eclipse itself features the sun in Capricorn opposite the moon in Cancer. Juno is here in a square in Libra, but there's help because Neptune is here in Pisces trining that moon, and it's also sextiling the sun. And the sun has a lot of planets there with it. Julia, what are your thoughts about this eclipse and all this stuff going on?
Oh, yeah. Well, few thoughts. One is we're looking at the Capricorn Cancer polarity. And Capricorn is the sign that everything is expected and nothing is given. And Cancer is the sign where everything is given and nothing is expected. So I see the real tension in this configuration as having to deal with maybe one's need for nurture, one's need for a stable and comfortable and supportive home life versus one's need to go out in the world and make it and provide and to have enough security in order to maintain that stable, personal, fulfilling home life. Like that Pluto and that Saturn in there, also in the signs of Capricorn, that to me just kind of speaks of a lot of perseverance and hard work in maybe sometimes times of scarcity or situations that are really difficult, but having the ability to kind of push through really, really difficult circumstances. So something along the lines of having to go out into the outer world in order to be able to gain enough security so that you can support your inner, more personal domestic world.
I love that. And I just put a title on this document. I think that you really gave me, the concept of what this eclipse is about. Because it's a lunar eclipse, the moon is really under the gun. The moon is what's being eclipsed. And that means self-care. And the moon is strong in her own sign of Cancer, right?
Yeah.
So this moon is determined that self-care is going to happen. And so that big pile of Capricorn planets is saying, work, do your duty, drudge along, meet the bottom line, right? And don't care if you grind yourself into the freaking ground. But the moon is saying, no, all actions stop here. Because I'm going to die if I don't get, a freaking chocolate. Some food for the soul, right? Yeah. So, and oppositions, and full moons are always oppositions between the sun and moon, are about balance, finding balance. And Juno here in the sign of Libra would seem to echo that theme. Juno signifies marriage and social life. Juno is a social leader. She likes to connect with people on a level. She's not hierarchical in her nature. She's about forming warm connections, forming networks, and building communities. She's a matchmaker. And she's in a sign of Libra, which she really likes to be in. There's a sense of equality, of parity, of warmth and friendship about that. And so I think that Juno is going to have to really manage this balance between, do I be tough and strong, or do I take breaks here and there and engage in some self-care and some nurture for those, and rebonding with the people and the other living beings that make it all worthwhile, that make all that work worth doing.
Yeah, like you don't have to do it all on your own. You know,
Yes.
the challenge of bringing in support from a partnership, which, you know, it's not always easy to be in partnership, but that Capricorn can be so solitary.
Yes.
You know, so yeah, trying to negotiate between having to shoulder all those responsibilities on your own, and also having the support of partnership in there.
That's right. The trine to Neptune is, I think, adds a real note of sweetness, of compassion, of empathy, and a beautiful feeling of merging that is available when you give the moon what it needs. Like as if to say, you put down that pen or that shovel or whatever your work tool is, put aside the world of Capricorn for just long enough to soothe that poor little quivering moon, and then what happens? The floor drops out and you end up in a warm, loving bath of like universal love.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yeah, it makes
sweet
me
is
think
that?
of like going to work, spending 10 hours at work, really just busting your ass, and then being able to come home and have that like couple of hours with your family, with your roommates, with, you know, where you're just in this nice womb like environment that kind of makes it all worth it.
Yeah, yeah. And if somebody in that environment is really freaking upset during the lunar eclipse, it's no wonder. Just settle, find your place of calm, be loving, and nurturing to all parties, and enjoy the feeling of merging and deep connection that comes in the wake of a storm like that.
It can justify all the hard work and responsibilities you do have to do.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Well, if in your chart you have got something near 20 degrees of a cardinal sign, Capricorn, Aries, Cancer, or Libra, within 5 degrees on either side of that, so 15 to 25 degrees of a cardinal sign. And that's usually, if you're looking at birth dates, if it's your sun that you're thinking of, that's usually going to be between the 5th and the 15th of the month for these sun signs. But really, it can be any planet in your chart. It doesn't have to be your sun for you to feel affected by this, in which case you should probably consider that for the 3 days surrounding the eclipse, which would be the 9th, 10th, and 11th of January. You might be something of an emotional wreck. You might be rather sensitive. You might find yourself breaking down under pressure, in which case, a little well-earned self-care. That's my prescription. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. You'll find this video on our YouTube channel in our January 2020 news playlist, and you'll always find good stuff coming up there, and also on our website, pandoraastrology.com. And in the blog, there are tons of free articles on the website. And also, you may not realize this, but Julia and I are actually available for readings. You could actually see one of us on your own computer screen from wherever you live. And we would love to meet with you. Take care, everybody. See you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye bye.